Give me. Good morning. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. I'm actually excited to host my first Sales Manager Wednesday. And my topic today is 4 tips to maximize every car deal. Y'all, before I get started, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but when I was putting this together, I was thinking about what are some fundamental pieces that we used to do that we don't do anymore, right? 4 basic tips. What are 4 basic tips that we can execute on today that'll help maximize every single deal walking in that dealership? So let's get started. All right. So tip number 1 is sales meetings. Y'all, effective sales meetings. And the first way to start and execute an effective sales meeting is to plan for these meetings, not just wing it, right? And I've been on both sides of this. And I know most of you guys have as well, okay? But the best recommendation I can tell you is put a training calendar together at your dealership, right? Somebody take the initiative and put together a schedule for whether it is for the first 2 weeks in a month or the second 2 weeks in a month, and find out this is where you get F&I involved. This is where you rotate from sales managers. Y'all, let's get together and let's get these sales meetings to be positive and motivational. These meetings should help set the tone for the day. The traditional old school sales meetings where we bring in our salespeople and we tell them everything that they're doing wrong, there's a place for that, right? But we don't start our meetings that way. Think about this, y'all. When your salespeople walk out of these sales meetings, they should have a direction and should be in the proper headspace to go out there and attack the day. So if I go up there and I grab my piece of paper and I'm out here beating up, telling my salesperson how they didn't do this, this, and this, what's that tone and what's that mindset going to become as that salesperson walks out? And what's the rest of that day going to look like? Number 3, let's talk about some appointments, right? Let's come up with a short motivational training piece. And from there, let's plan out our day. How many appointments do we have? Who has the appointments? Right? Let's recognize the people that are doing what they're supposed to do rather than tear down the people that aren't doing what they're not supposed to do. And y'all, it's going to be more effective doing it this way. Find one salesperson, whether it's talking about, you preparing for a day, whether you guys have been beating on your sales teams to get appointments scheduled, whether you've been beating on your sales teams to make sure they're going out there doing, $1 million feature benefit presentations. Whatever it is, pick one salesperson, 2 salespeople that are doing it consistently. Y'all have them come up there and show your sales team how to do it. Give them accolades in front of their peers, and the rest of your sales team are going to want to follow. One-on-ones. Y'all, these are important and just as important as anything we're going to talk about today, because when you break out from a sales meeting, you're in a large session talking in general terms to your entire team, all right? So number 1, get a training schedule put together. Get your F&I people involved, get every sales manager, get everybody in the building to pick a day, pick a couple days, and do sales meetings. The second thing is break up your sales team into groups. If you have 5 managers, divide your sales team by 5 and include F&I. And let's do some one-on-ones. What should we do in these one-on-ones? This is where we dig in with your individual salesperson. This is where I've got my CRM open and I'm going in and I'm talking about who has been in this dealership and has not bought a car. Who came by yesterday and didn't buy a car? Who came by 2 days ago and didn't buy a car? What do we need to do to put a car deal together? The second, do you and your sales team understand their closing ratio? Do they understand that I need to get in front of X amount of customers to sell X amount of cars? And then we can back into that. But every salesperson should have goals and should have a minimum standard, but also should have the roadmap of how to get there. And the roadmap of how to get there is based off of the last 90 days. This is what you need to do to sell this many cars. I'm going to track it, and I'm going to hook up with you one-on-one and we're going to make sure you do this. I'm going to put some pressure on you, but at the end of the day, when you look up on the 15th of next month, that check is going to be good. Y'all, let's dig into the CRM. So I came, I left retail in 2016, and I went and worked for Cox Automotive, and worked with several of their business units, and worked with Vin Solutions, one of their CRMs. I did not realize the importance of the CRM until I started working for the CRM company. So dig into the CRM with them, and don't tell them what to do. Show them how it should be done. One thing that I think that we've been lacking in the business is it's easy to go point to one of your salespeople and go tell them, hey, do this. But do they remember how to do it? Y'all remember, we went through 2 to 3 years of times where it took minimal effort to sell a car. So we have to reestablish fundamentals today. We're and we're the leaders. We have to show them how to do it, not tell them how to do it. Pick up the phone, show them how to get an appointment, and then they'll follow. All right, focusing on low funnel opportunities. What I mean by that is if I'm going to be involved in a one-on-one, digging in with a salesperson, I want to talk about what can we get in the building today. Y'all, if a customer has come back to your dealership, if they've been to your dealership once and they didn't buy a car, and you can get them to come back again, they're buying a car. Do y'all agree? If they have been to your dealership and they come back again, they're buying a car, y'all. So let's focus on B-backs. Let's get some B-backs in the building. Let's go through, dig into that CRM, focus on opportunities that I know, how can I sell a car today? And those are the first ones I'm digging in on. And once I'm done with those, I'm going on into digging into the other ones. But y'all, the low funnel, highest conversion rate that you will get is B-backs. Let's dig in with your sales team on B-backs. Appointments. I want to talk about this for a second, right? If you go today and you go and walk from salesperson to salesperson to salesperson and ask them, what are you going to do today? I'm going to try to get me one today, boss, right? Or, boss, I have 3 appointments. If all 3 show the way I close, I should sell 1 to 1.5 cars. Y'all, that's the type of activity we have to lead our salespeople into doing. We can't live off of hopes and prayers like we have in the past, right? I hope I'm going to get me one today, y'all. That doesn't work. We have to be intentional. We spend hours and hours at the dealership. Let's dig in and sell some cars and make some money. Tip number 3. Y'all, all your F&I people are sick of us talking about this. So this isn't Moose talking or LDS talking. This is a J.D. Power mystery shop about EMI and the importance of EMI. For those of you guys that don't know what EMI is, it's early management intervention, early management involvement. According to a J.D. Powers mystery shop, the results showed that when managers make contact with clients early on, not only do the clients enjoy a more consistent experience, but the salesperson's process disciplines are better. I wonder why. And there is an improvement to the bottom line and profitability goes up. So if a manager is involved, y'all, sales managers, you're not alone in this. Your F&I managers need to be helping you doing this. So if I can get my F&I managers involved and all the sales managers involved in performing EMI, what it does is it removes bad habits from my salespeople, because guess who's watching? If I skip a step in my process and I know my sales manager is about to come out and do EMI, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to perform corrective action. Let's say I've got that salesperson that's lost on the lot. Customer is taking total control over the deal. Salesperson's lost control. If you perform EMI, you can right the ship and bring it back on course, y'all. Next step, 100% TO. 100% TO, y'all. You are the sales manager and F&I managers at the dealership because you guys are the closers of the store. You guys are the closers, right? So you have already experienced almost every objection a customer can hit you with. Every objection. You have the experience to navigate through those objections and identify how to close the customer. Y'all, these should be a training session for your salespeople. I want to go out there and show them that customer that they told me that isn't buying today, customer that came in today that said that I'm just shopping, I'm just trying to gather some information. That if I go out there and ask the right questions, and if I go out there and do every single thing I just told you and I loaded your lips with, that's how you close that core deal. So instead of telling them, let's go show them, the best training session is a live training session showing them how to do things. Next, y'all, a TO isn't just when the customer's at the dealership getting ready to leave, right? You know, we should look into, you know, TOs are calling behind your salespeople. And, you know, when I was putting this together, I picked up the phone and I had a couple conversations with some sales managers, with some F&I managers. And the reason I put this in there was because I was talking to a general manager of a store, and he was picking up the phone, calling behind, right? You know, every day he sits there and he picks up the phone and he calls a couple of the people that were at the dealership the day before. And he happened that day to get all three of those people that he called back into the dealerships, y'all. Let's not take our salespeople's words in the CRM when they go in there and they check the box and say left message. If I go into any one of your CRMs right now and I want y'all to dig into your logs and look at what your salespeople are following up and how many times you see left message, y'all. Let's pick up the phone and go behind them. Y'all, let's try to be intentional about this. Manager TO is much more effective with EMI. Y'all, in the previous slide, we saw how profitability goes up. We saw how salesperson behavior is correct when the EMI is performed. But think about this, okay? So I'm your F&I manager at the dealership. You're in the middle of desking a bunch of deals and you called on me, and I need to go out there and take a turn on this deal. How much easier, and not just easier, how much more effective am I at the TO if I've talked to the customer at EMI? If I've built a little bit of rapport with that customer in EMI? Y'all, if you get one thing out of what I talked about today, just one thing, I want it to be EMI. We talked about 4 important steps. We talked about sales meetings, one-on-ones, EMI, and manager TO. But when it comes down to it, if you guys can perform one thing about what we're talking about today, it's this word right here. Because instead of sitting back in my office, and y'all, nobody's lighting it on fire right now, okay? Let's get out there and be a part of the solution. Let's get out there and help our salespeople sell some cars. That's what changes everything. When a car is sold, it changes everything, right? You say we could be having a bad day, but let's go sell a car and it changes it, right? Let's go make some money and it changes it. So let's go out there, y'all, and I hope you use these tips, and let's dig in and sell some more cars and make some money. Appreciate you guys for joining us on Sales Manager Wednesday.